Good morning, guys. Today's Monday. It is very cold outside. It is 36 degrees. I took a morning walk. This weekend I did not leave the house at all. On Saturday or Sunday I didn't leave the house, and I think that was very damaging for my mental health. I think it's really a cycle. Like, if I'm feeling down, then I don't go outside or get any exercise, and then if I don't go outside and get any exercise, then I'm feeling more down and lethargic and just kind of like don't want to leave my bed. So decided to start off the week right, went outside. It was very cold though, so I've got some hot chocolate. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I usually start off my mornings with either a nice hot chocolate or a chai tea or some sort of other tea, just to get me warmed up in the morning. And now our air just kicked on, so hopefully that's not too loud. Okay, let's try that again. Hello. So it is a Monday and I have a lot of work to do today. I thought I would just share a little bit about how much reading I do in a week, what my reading strategies are, things of that nature. So this week I had total for all my classes 1,400 pages of reading. That includes 3 books and a few articles. Now I wouldn't say that this is super usual, but I also wouldn't say that it's unusual. I do average about 3 books a week, and it just depends on the length. So this is the book I had to read for today's class, which starts at 12:45, The Racial State, Germany, 1933 to 1945, and it was just over 300 pages. My book for Tuesday's class was 800 pages. That was not my first or probably last 800-page book of the semester. And then my book for Thursday's class, which I have not started yet, but will start tomorrow, is just over 200 pages. And then I had a few articles for all the classes as well. So this morning what I'm working on is I have to write a book review for the 800-page book. How am I supposed to write a 3-page book review on an 800-page book? I'm really not sure. We'll find out. I'll let you guys know how that goes. And then I also have to read and prepare an article for tomorrow's class. Throughout the semester, we are required to present 2 articles, and my second article is tomorrow. So I have to read that and prep for what I'm going to say about it. And then I have a class, and then I'll still be working on the book review. I imagine it will take me most of my day, even though it's only 3 pages, because it's a lot to distill. So I have all my notes here that I will use to help me write my book review. I'm gonna start out by just going through my notes and highlighting kind of the things I want to talk about and the big themes that I saw throughout the book, and maybe anything that was missing or I wished the author would have addressed. And then I've also looked at a few other book reviews that people have done on it, just to see what some of the critics are saying and other historians. And then I will synthesize my thoughts. So that is my plan for the next few hours until I have lunch and then my class for this afternoon. Okay, so I just about finished up reading my article. I didn't get too far in my book review. I just really struggle with condensing information down to a few pages, but I do have time after class. My class ends at 3:30, so I'll just pick it right back up after this. In the meantime, I have been working on my article presentation for tomorrow. It is for my international history class. I think last video I might have accidentally called it international studies. It's international history, which is basically diplomatic history, and it is a history that I am not used to. It's foreign policy, big power politics. I am a cultural historian, social and cultural historian, so it's definitely not the type of history I'm used to doing or necessarily enjoy, but it was important to take because it's about European international history, and as someone who will be teaching in general history of Europe, it's important. But the article that I'm presenting for tomorrow is about Pierre Bourdieu and the cultural turn of international history. So it's really interesting and especially pertinent to me. And like, I read a lot of Bourdieu's work and we studied him when I got my master's at NYU. I'm glad that I picked this article to present tomorrow. It is really fascinating how the field of international history has changed over the past few decades and recent years, and this move towards trying to include more cultural sides of diplomatic history instead of just talking about dead old white men, which is a common quip in this field. So it's been nice to read and kind of get back to my roots. I did want to touch on reading strategies really quickly. I think one very common, like well-known reading strategy for grad students is to read the introduction, the conclusion, then the first and last paragraph, the first and last paragraph of every chapter, and then the first line of every paragraph within the chapters. I have never been able to successfully do that. I am too worried that I'll miss out on something, even though the reality is we're not getting into the super nitty-gritty of dates and people in our seminar discussions. We more talk about overall arguments and different things in the book that were done well, things that weren't done well, or were maybe missing. So in a book that's about this size, I pretty much end up reading the whole thing. In a book that's longer, like my 800-page book, I definitely don't read the whole thing. There's a lot of skimming that goes on, but even then, I am definitely trying to get as much out of it as I can. And I don't know, I just find it so hard to just stick to that reading strategy, even though it's very effective for a lot of people. I imagine this will change when I have even more coursework or when I start teaching or grading next year. But for now, for my reading, I always take handwritten notes. I have never moved towards taking notes on my computer. Even in undergrad, I think there was only 1 or 2 classes where I took notes on a computer. And then when I got my master's, it was actually not allowed to have computers in the classroom. They didn't want you to be distracted by technology. And so I've just been very used to taking notes on paper. And I guess that might not be good in the long run because I don't want to be lugging around tons of notebooks. I have had this problem in the past, but for me, it's helpful because when I write something down, it triggers something in my brain to remember, and then I can go back and highlight and just have everything right here. And I always take my reading notes, and then immediately after I take my notes for the class, and then after that I start the next week. I will say in these classes I take way less notes in class than I did in my master's. I'm not sure why. Maybe I just get too into the conversation. But I definitely take a lot of written notes, and I try and pinpoint either important moments in history that I think I might need to know, and then just trying to pinpoint the author's argument and supporting facts. So it can make my reading go a little longer, but in the end, I think it helps me be more prepared for seminars, and it also helps me when I have to write papers. So that is a little bit on my reading strategies, but I'm gonna go make lunch. Soup again because it's winter. Well, for me it's winter. I'm a Texan, so up here when it's like 40 degrees, I'm wearing a turtleneck and having soup every day for lunch, and then have some bread and goat cheese that I got from Trader Joe's. They have this delicious goat cheese with honey that is truly perfection. So I'm gonna have that and I don't know, maybe like a fruit or something, and then keep going with the rest of my day. Is this thing on? I'm just kidding. I actually do use this microphone for class, but it's not hooked up to my camera, so it doesn't actually work right now. So I just finished class. Halfway through class, whenever we had our bathroom break today, I changed into my sweatpants because I made the silly mistake of wearing jeans today. I don't know why. I haven't worn jeans in ages, and trying to wear them all day, it was not fun. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable right now. I need to finish writing what I'm gonna say when I present this article tomorrow. I am not one of those people who can just talk off the cuff if I'm doing a presentation. I meticulously write out everything I'm gonna say, practice it a few times, time it out to make sure I'm not going over any prescribed time limits. So I'm going to do that and then finish up this book review. I feel like it's gonna take me so long. I've only written 400 words. Hey, it's supposed to be between 800 and 1,000 words. So I've already written half of it, but it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo and the paragraphs don't really connect to each other. It's just little points that I want to bring up. So I have to figure out a way to bring it all together. But yeah, this is my last week in Columbus. I'm going back home next week. I'm so excited to go home for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be staying, well, I was originally staying until January 2nd, but they've recently announced that all of the month of January will be online. So I don't know if I really want to come back here to do online classes. This semester has been really, really hard. I'm here alone. I've made a few friends in my cohort, but my cohort is 4 people, and it's not like we can really hang out because of COVID. So I don't know, it's just been a really bummer on the morale. And I started this whole COVID situation in quarantine in France, and that was a whole emotional roller coaster in and of itself. But at least when I was staying in France, I was living with a family, so I could do fun things in the evenings. Here, don't have my dog, so pretty soon, next week, this YouTube channel is just going to turn into a Ranger fan account. I'll be back with my dog and hopefully filming lots of cute things with him. And he'll be my new study buddy and emotional support animal. But yeah, I haven't decided how long I'm going to stay in Texas for. I might stay the entire month of January and just not come back for 2 months. If classes are going to be online, then I really see no reason to come back here and be sad in the cold gray winter that is Columbus, Ohio. So we will see. For the meantime, I'm gonna get to work and work on my presentation, and then that'll be it for today. What a day, you guys. I am tuckered out. It took me forever to do that book review. I also didn't finish writing out what I'm gonna say when I present the article tomorrow. I did take notes, and I don't think it'll be that hard to talk about it because there is a good abstract and an intro and conclusion that I'll be drawing on to sum up everything. I feel like I'm just talking gibberish right now. I'm getting so tired and so burnt out. The daylight saving times does not help because now it gets dark at 5 p.m. and I'm ready for bed. And I'm just so over this pandemic. Like, I don't know about you guys. I am taking it very seriously. I don't leave my house very often. I wear a mask everywhere. I'm not going out to restaurants, not going out to gyms. Don't really have that many people to hang out with. Anyway, I'm just overall feeling very burnt out from the semester. And I'm ready to go home and be with my family and finish out the semester. So after this week, I still have 1 class next week and then Thanksgiving break, and then I have a last full week of classes the first week of December, and then all that I have left is to write all my papers. My papers are all on really interesting subjects. I am researching women in peace movements during World War I. I am researching the historiography of motherhood in war in France and Britain during World War I. And then the last class, I'm going a little bit outside of my normal realm, and I'm researching representations of Black women in France in the 17th and 18th century. So not really what I'm used to doing, but that's what I did a presentation on, and I've read a lot of literature on that this semester. So I'm going to write that for my History of the Idea of Race in Europe class. Thank you guys for joining me on another video today. I know it was just a really chatty video, but I guess I just felt really chatty today. Let me know if you like these kind of videos more, or if you like more day in the life to see what I'm doing and maybe not hear me babble on so much. But the next time I see you guys, I will be in Texas and showing you lots of videos of my dog. Bye guys, see you next time.